Let's get right into it. Number 9. Caught in the cycle of constant distraction. Sometimes your mind isn't just wandering, it's running from something deep beneath the surface. Psychologist Dr. Gabor Mate says, the real question isn't why the addiction, but why the pain. When unresolved trauma lingers, your brain acts like an alarm that won't quiet down, and you'll do almost anything to find that off switch. Not always with substances, often it's the little things. Scrolling endlessly through your phone, binge-watching shows, that thrill from online shopping, even burying yourself in work until you can't think. Each time your brain gives you a hit of dopamine, that chemical burst of temporary relief. For a brain trying to escape buried pain, dopamine is like a mute button, and so the pattern begins. That felt better. Let's do it again. But the relief fades, the original pain stays. Worse, these distractions create new problems. Debt, exhaustion, damaged health, poor sleep. And with more stress comes more need to escape. It's a loop, what scientists call trauma-driven stress addiction, not weakness. Just your brain trying to fix itself with outdated tools like patching a leak with duct tape. Your mind learned this pattern for survival. Now, it's stuck using methods that no longer serve you. Number 8. When the body holds on. Ever notice strange aches, an upset stomach, or a deep exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix? Sometimes, your body remembers things your mind has long forgotten. This is called somatization. When emotional pain shows up as physical symptoms. In nature, after surviving danger, animals instinctively shake off that stress. The body releases the trapped energy. But humans, we're taught to stay strong and push through. So that intense survival energy stays stuck, trapped in muscles, nerves, tissues. Your mind may have moved on, but your body didn't. Remains locked in high alert mode as if the danger is still there. And it shows up in ways that are hard to explain. Chronic back pain doctors can't pinpoint. Constant headaches, dizziness out of nowhere, heart palpitations with no medical cause. Gut issues that linger, a sense of running on 5% battery all the time. It's not imaginary. It's your body screaming for attention, carrying an unseen burden that words can't release. An alarm stuck in the on position. That trapped energy weakens your immune system, increases tension, disrupts sleep, leaving you drained and vulnerable. The body remembers every chapter, and sometimes, pain is the only language it can use to ask for healing. Listening to those signals instead of ignoring or numbing them is often the first step to finally letting the body release what it's been holding for far too long. Number 7. The people-pleasing reflex. Ever catch yourself saying yes when you really want to say no, apologizing for things that aren't your fault, or changing how you act just to make someone else comfortable? This isn't weakness, it's often a survival reflex, one your brain learned long ago. You've probably heard of fight, flight, or freeze. But there's a fourth response, fawn. Picture a small animal cornered by a predator. It can't run, it can't fight. So instead, it becomes passive, acting harmless, hoping the threat will pass. Humans do this too, especially children who grew up in unstable or unsafe environments. For them, the safest path was making others happy, staying alert, tuning into every mood, and keeping the peace. That habit sticks. As adults, it can show up as constant people-pleasing, saying yes to avoid conflict, feeling responsible for how others feel, apologizing just to keep things calm, blurring, or even erasing your own needs and boundaries. Here's the catch. This pattern probably worked when you were younger. It helped you survive. But now, in everyday life, it leaves you drained, giving away your time, energy, and sense of self. If this sounds familiar, remember, you're not broken. You're someone who adapted brilliantly to difficult circumstances. Recognizing this old reflex is the first step toward breaking free from it. Number 6. Relationship déjà vu. Ever find yourself stuck in the same relationship patterns again and again? Different person, same ending, same pain, same story. It's not bad luck, it's often your brain pulling the strings. Psychologists call this repetition compulsion, the tendency to unconsciously seek out relationships that echo old wounds. If you grew up with criticism, you may feel drawn to partners who criticize. If you experienced neglect, you might end up with someone emotionally unavailable, not because you enjoy it, but because it feels familiar to the brain. Familiar equals safe, even when it's painful. A healthy, stable relationship can actually feel strange or uncomfortable because it doesn't fit your old narrative. Deep down, part of you might still be trying to rewrite the past. If I can get this person to love or accept me, maybe I'll finally heal those old scars. But it doesn't work that way. Instead, you end up trapped in a cycle, chasing approval, replaying the same emotional wounds. It's like watching reruns of a show you never liked, but can't seem to turn off. Why? Because trauma changes how you see people. It acts like a filter, distorting your view of potential partners and steering you toward what feels familiar. The first step toward breaking this pattern. Recognizing that the pull toward certain people might not be about who they are, but about unhealed parts of yourself. Number 5. The unseen barrier. Ever had someone stand too close, say something harmless, or even give a look, and suddenly, you're flooded with a huge emotional reaction? Like there's an invisible force field around you, and someone just crossed it. That's not just sensitivity. It can be a defense system your brain built long ago. If your personal space, safety, or trust was violated in the past, your mind may have decided, normal boundaries aren't enough. I need stronger protection. So it created an unseen barrier, an emotional electric fence. Now, when anyone comes too close, physically or emotionally, alarms go off. A casual touch, an offhand comment, unsolicited advice. Anything that even hints at disrespect or danger can feel overwhelming. And to your nervous system, it feels completely real. Your brain is trying to protect you, stuck in hyper mode, scanning for threats. That's why a simple conversation can suddenly feel like an interrogation, or why someone offering help might be met with, "Are you saying I can't handle this?" The person on the outside may have no idea, but to the part of you that remembers past harm, it's DEFCON 1. This barrier isn't just about physical space, it applies to emotional closeness too. Too many questions, too soon. That can trigger a shutdown. Feeling pressured to say yes, it might cause a meltdown. It's your brain doing its best to stop old wounds from being reopened even when the threat isn't really there. Number 4. Haunted by betrayal. Ever catch yourself rereading a message, dissecting every word, convinced a friend is upset with you? Or maybe you find it hard to trust people, always waiting for something to go wrong. That might be more than caution. It could be your brain stuck in high alert after past betrayals. When people you counted on, family, friends, partners, hurt or abandoned you, it left a mark. Your mind learned. Trust is dangerous. To keep you safe, your brain built a hypersensitive betrayal detector. The trouble is, it's tuned way too high. Now even minor things, a late reply, a slight change in tone, can trigger suspicion. Your brain whispers, "Here it comes again." This shows up in constant overanalyzing, expecting the worst, or assuming any kindness hides an ulterior motive. Even healthy relationships feel risky. Sometimes, the response is avoidance, deciding it's safer to be alone. Other times, it's overcompensating, trying to control every detail, managing every outcome, so nothing can surprise you. All of this happens beneath the surface. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage happiness, it's following an old, outdated map, built during painful times. A map that now sees danger, even when none exists, if trust feels impossible. It's often not about the people around you now, but the echoes of betrayals that came before. Number 3. Total shutdown response. Have you ever felt completely frozen, body heavy, mind blank, unable to move, speak, or react? That wasn't weakness, it was your brain pulling the emergency brake. We all know about fight or flight, but there's another survival instinct. Freeze. Think of a deer caught in headlights, or a possum playing dead. Sometimes, the safest option isn't to run or fight, but to go completely still. Your brain makes this decision in a split second, and when it hits freeze, your entire system shuts down. You might feel numb, disconnected, like you're watching from outside your body, thoughts racing, but no words come, muscles limp, mouth frozen. You want to act, but you can't. This is an ancient protective reflex, wired deep in our biology. Long ago, freezing might have helped you survive a predator. Today, your brain can still trigger it even when the threat is a conflict, confrontation, or shocking news. For those with trauma, even small stresses can cause a mini-freeze. Suddenly, unable to make a simple choice. Zoning out in conversation. Going blank during an argument. It explains why some people don't fight back, or why a child couldn't speak up about abuse. Their brain chose freeze, not out of choice, but survival. If you've felt this, no, you're not broken. Your mind was doing exactly what it was wired to do, protecting you the best way it knew how. Number 2. Numb to your own feelings. Ever find yourself feeling nothing when you know you should feel something, or sensing a tight knot in your stomach, but not knowing what emotion it connects to? This might be more than just confusion. It can be a form of emotional numbness, what psychologists call alexithymia. It doesn't mean you have no emotions. It means your brain struggles to recognize and name them. You might feel physical signs, racing heart, tense shoulders, upset stomach, but no clear sense of "I'm anxious" or "I'm sad." It's like your emotions are locked behind a wall and the words just aren't there. Why does this happen? For many, it's a shield their mind built to survive overwhelming experiences. If emotions felt too dangerous, too painful to handle, the brain learned to shut them down, especially in childhood. When trauma hits, disconnecting from feelings can be the only way to cope. But that disconnect often lingers into adulthood, and it can make life harder than it seems. Relationships become confusing. You miss emotional cues from others. You struggle to express what you really feel, or even know it yourself. You might come across as cold or distant, when really, you're navigating a world of feelings with no map. If this sounds familiar, remember, it's not a flaw. It's a deeply wired survival response, your brain's way of keeping you safe when feelings once felt too dangerous. Number 1. The inner voice that lies. Imagine going through something so painful, so overwhelming, that your mind doesn't just store the memory, it tattoos it into your very sense of self, not with ink, but with deep, invisible beliefs. Like, I'm worthless, I'm unlovable, this was all my fault. These are not passing thoughts, they feel like facts, and they quietly shape how you see the world, how you treat yourself, and how you move through life. Psychologists call these core beliefs, and when trauma is involved, those beliefs are often harsh, untrue, and deeply damaging. You might sabotage relationships convinced you don't deserve love, or settle for less, believing you can't ask for more, or carry guilt for things that were never your fault. The worst part, these beliefs are sneaky. They don't announce themselves as lies from your past. They feel true. And each time life goes wrong, a breakup, a failure, a rejection, your brain says, "See, I told you so." It becomes a cycle, a self-fulfilling prophecy. The old pain keeps replaying, influencing choices, relationships, and how you see yourself without you even realizing it. But here's the truth. These beliefs are not who you really are. They are old survival messages written during dark times. And like old tattoos, they can fade, they can be reworked, they can be healed. It takes time, often it takes help. But step by step, that inner voice can learn a new story, one that reflects the truth of who you are today. These hidden responses aren't signs of weakness, they're proof of how hard your mind and body worked to protect you. And with awareness, they can start to shift. If you'd like to learn more, hit subscribe. More insights are on the way.